welcome to your first camp meeting. Some of you are like, what? We're gonna back up and give you a little history. Except during the time of COVID, which was 3 years where we could not have this program, kids at Sacagawea have been going for you'll be the 42nd year of kids who have gone to camp. Some of the grown-ups that have children at Sacagawea, they went when they were 5th graders. So we're well into our next generation of kids going to what we call 5th grade camp. It's really outdoor school. It's not like camping with your family or going to church camp or Boy Scout camp or Girl Scout camp. It is very much focused on, I'd say 2 things. Learning some outdoor skills, like, I'll let you go ahead and talk about the classes and specials.
Like one class that we will go to is nature studies. Nature studies will go on small little hikes. We'll learn about the different types of nature at Camp Tall Timber where we're at. Another class we'll have is orienteering. Orienteering, you'll learn how to use a compass, how to use it to guide you in where you are going, and then also some pacing skills, how far you have traveled based on how many steps you've taken. Okay. Another class we have is survival. Survival, you'll learn how to pitch tent, set up a tent, you'll learn how to start a fire properly, a campfire. And on the last day, you'll even learn how you can
Cook your food.
Cook your food over the fire. Okay. The 4th class we'll have, because there are 4 classes when we go to camp, the 4th class is archery.
Yes!
We will teach you how to properly safely shoot a bow and arrow. There is a picture of archery. Okay.
We also, just like at school, have specials. And so you will go to specials on Tuesday and Wednesday for one special, but Thursday, so we leave on Monday, it takes a long time to get there, and then Tuesday you'll have a special, Wednesday you'll have a special, and Thursday you'll have 4 specials. And those are things like gold panning, and yes, you get gold and you get to keep it. We have a special called Wacky Games. We have rock wall, and then we also have rappelling, which is different than the rock wall. We have GPS, so that's where you do some geocaching and look for cool things that have been hidden. We have high ropes, which is a ropes course. We do a lot of climbing. Oh yeah, you can see some kids getting strapped in to do the high ropes course. We have hiking. Did I say arts and crafts? Okay. And then sometimes we might add something depending on who our counselors are. Hey, I'm really good at Dutch oven cooking or something. So the thing to know is it's outdoor school. We're outside all the time unless we're eating or sleeping. We kind of followed the same kind of rules about classes. You listen to your teachers, you fully participate, you don't give up when things are hard. Because guess where, when we come back, you'll have 2 days? 2 days back at Saki, you'll say goodbye, and then you'll be off to middle school. So we want to give you that time to practice, like, I can do hard things. I can be helpful to my friends and encouraging. And I know how to be away from home. For some of you, that may be new business. You haven't been away from home. Maybe you've never eaten any food other than school food or food your mom cooked for you. So a lot of those things are just really practical, important things to know before you head off to middle school where you have to be more independent. So what makes people successful at Saki Outdoor School? just a good attitude. I don't know where to go, or I forgot my water bottle, oh, or I have a mosquito bite, you know? But we're gonna try not to be defeated by small things. There's gonna be way more adults there than there are at school. My class has 27, so it's me and 27 of you. But we probably have one adult for 4 or 5 kids. So we have lots of adults and teenagers to help you get where you're supposed to be and all of that. It is just a good way to end your elementary career. Okay, want to talk about that?
Sure. So
Do
some of
questions
the
at the end.
pictures
Thanks.
you've seen, not this one right now, but well, that's our mess hall. That is where we'll go to eat our food. But we sleep in cabins while we are there. Girls sleep with girls in girls' cabins, boys with boys in boys' cabins. Mr. Bruce. But typically in a cabin, we have
Listen.
8 to 12 people per cabin. Within that cabin, there's 2 to 3 adults as well. Our staff that we have, as Mrs. Bryan said, is first of all your teachers, right? And then we have lots of adults, and then we even take high school and college age volunteers who many of them have over 25 years of experience doing our camp. We have nurses there. We have a nurse that we take with us who has been volunteering for many years as well. And a lot of them, they're volunteering, right? They are taking their time off work and using that time to be here. So it's a passion of theirs as well. So every single one of you can be successful at Camp Tall Timber. One of the main things is having that growth mindset. Some of the things are hard that you do while we're there, but knowing that you can do those hard things. Cost this year of camp, as we've talked about, Jogathon is our #1 and our first fundraiser of the year. For Jogathon, every dollar you earn, you get 80% of that, and it goes directly to your individual camp account. So each and every one of you are going to have accounts that says, this is how much money you have raised towards camp. The cost of camp this year is $285, okay? That's a lot of money, but we have from now until May 15th to get that money in. Jogathon is just our first fundraiser, but it's also kind of our biggest because it's not often that fundraisers you get such a high percentage of the money you earn. So 80% of that goes to your individual camp account. A lot of questions around that are, what if I raise more than what I need? Awesome. What that means is that money will go to a general fund to help other students pay to go to camp. Okay, it's kind of like a donation in that sense. I think that's it about Jogathon.
Yeah, so let's just talk a little bit more about what happens. So you're gonna bring a suitcase and we'll give you a complete packing list, what to bring, what not to bring. We go on school buses, and it is the only sad part about going to 5th grade camp is the drive up there is really long, but it's a beautiful setting. Anybody see the latest Top Gun movie? I don't even know what it's rated, but anyway.
It was filmed here.
That's where it's filmed, and when we're out hiking and doing archery, those jets that were part of that movie, they often come and fly by the mountains, and it's so cool. I mean, the whole ground rumbles, so that's cool. So we're up in the mountains, but it's also June, so sometimes we've gone and it's been hot and we wear shorts and use a lot of sunscreen and bug spray. Sometimes it's raining. At night it's usually a little bit chilly, so you bring a coat or jacket, and so you have a little suitcase, and then you have bunk beds, and you just roll out your sleeping bag with a pillow. I actually get too hot in my sleeping bag, so I just bring a couple blankets and a sheet and roll them up and then put them on my bed, and that's how I sleep. So they're in a building, in bunk beds with your cabin mates. Then there are showers. Some cabins have showers, some don't. but there's a big, what's called a shower house. It's totally private. It's not, yeah, private. But we do give you time, usually in the evening, depending on your camp counselor or cabin counselor, to take a shower, because you're gonna be outside all day getting sweaty and having fun. And yeah, so please take a shower. Every day, please, please. On the way back, even though it's a long trip, 90% of the kids just fall asleep and you wake up and you go, oh, I'm back at school. We leave early on Monday, like 7, and then we're usually back by the end of school on Friday when school is out. Yeah. So, your parents, and we're recording this because we're going to post it for your parents. Your parents probably want to know what adults what process do they have to go through? Just like anybody who comes to school has to be screened. Do you know what that means? They have to go through a process where if they want to be here on campus as a volunteer, they have to go through a process. And all our camp volunteers go through that same process. So it's called vetting. So they are vetted through the Richland School District process. Oh, if you take meds, no big deal. Kids that take meds still get to go to camp. If you have asthma or anything that you need meds for, we totally have that figured out with the nurses. If you have food allergies, for the most part, the camp knows how to take care of that. If you have something quite unusual, not typical, then we can talk about that. But no kid has ever had to stay home because they had a food allergy or take medicine. So that is, we're committed to all kids being able to go. So in between now and the time we go, we'll meet a couple more times. The big thing coming up a week from Friday is the Jogathon. And I had a really interesting question from a parent. My kid's not gonna be there, so I said, well, instead of getting pledges, you know, like I'll pay you $5 for every lap, just say, I'll give you 20 bucks and not pledge for your laps, but just donate for the cause of you being able to go to camp. So even if you think for some reason you won't be here on Jogathon Day, that's a good way to solve that. How many of you get money for Christmas and birthdays? Oh, you might want to save some of that. How many of you have ever done a chore? I had a kid tell me yesterday he has a job, and he explained his job to me. I'm like, okay. Have any of you ever saved for something you wanted in the past? Oh, so you should be experts at, if you have a goal that requires money,
How can we save?
you have a way to do that. When my kids were your age, they had camps, they had things that my son wanted to go to London when he was 14. It's like, oh my gosh, London is expensive and it's far away, but we took a year and a half and he was able to raise money and get donations and scholarships to do this big trip he wanted to do. So anything you put your mind to, we know you can do. Have I forgotten anything? I don't know.
I don't think so.
All right, so now we're gonna have questions. Go ahead.
Okay, questions. Raise your hand.
And try to listen, because you probably have the same question as somebody else, so listen carefully. at
And
the
no,
answer.
we will not repeat the answer. So, listening carefully. Yes.
Are we getting to choose who you sleep with or not?
Great question. The question was, do we get to choose who's in our cabin? The answer is, well, kind of. In the spring, we will have another one of these meetings where you will get a card and you'll say, who are some of your top friends that you want to have in your cabin? You'll get 5 choices of people who you will get to write down. Of those, we guarantee you will at least have one. We obviously aim for more, right? But we guarantee you will at least have one person who you wrote down on your list to be in your cabin. On that same card, we also say, hey, are there some high adventures that you really, really want to do? Or maybe one where, I don't know if I can do that, that's too scary for me. And we honor that, okay? Again, we guarantee you at least one of the specials that you asked for, okay? And then if you are like, man, that high adventure, I really don't think I can do, then we honor that.
Yep.
Okay, other questions? Jameson?
Golf there?
No golf.
Sometimes we play frisbee golf.
Yes,
Frisbee golf.
but not like 18 holes. Okay. Other questions? Yes, Puma Sweatshirt.
Will we get to bring our phones for mom's worried about us?
Ha, great question. Her question was, can we bring our phones? Well, yes, for the bus ride. You can be on your phone, you can listen to music, but what's really important is it's your phone and not anyone else's. So you'll get to use your phone for you. However, there is no self-service where we go. I know, gasp. No cell service. Now, there is a phone that we have in case of emergencies that we can use. It's called a satellite phone that the camp has, and I see a lot of faces. I'm not going to explain that right now. But we do have a phone that we can use in case of emergency. So if we needed to call parents because something is happening, we can call.
But that's a great question, is you have 8 months to practice being away from home, like sleepovers, stay with grandma, you know, all those things. If that makes you a little bit nervous, we hope that that's something you could kind of work on as the next, you know, school year happens, because we don't go till June, so you have lots of time. And sometimes it's the parents that, you're gonna be having so much fun, they're just gonna be missing you.
The other thing you can do with your phones is take pictures while we are there. Okay, yes. All right, other questions? Peyton.
Can we bring melatonin to help us sleep?
That is a medication that we will have our nurse, there's forms you'll have to, your parents and your doctor will have to fill out. And we do have a nurse who can give you different medications. Glasses. Yes.
Will we, if you wait, do they do all the activities that's based on this?
Yes, all of the pictures you see here are different things we do at camp. Yes.
So, what if we have a dentist appointment or just an appointment on one of the days of the camp?
Reschedule.
Reschedule it. Parents are really good at that.
Yeah.
Annika.
If we have like a critter or a bug or like something like that, can we hold it or like take pictures with it as long as like we'll let it go and it's safe?
Something you find there, you mean?
Like a frog or a bug.
Oh, okay. Not something you were planning on bringing, right?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Almost like finding it, just like holding it and whatnot.
We'll defer to Mr. Rowley and during
Yes.
nature studies.
Nature studies teacher will answer that question for you. Bella. Can you sleep under the stars some nights? Well, no. We have cabins that we're going to sleep in. However, during campfire, it is gorgeous how many stars you see up in that sky. Because there's not. We're in the middle of the wilderness, right? In the middle of the woods. So there's no light getting in the way of those stars. And on your way walking back to your cabin will be an awesome time to look at the stars.
And mostly because of the mosquitoes. You probably don't want to because, yeah, the mosquitoes tend to wake up once we get there.
Yes.
Will you be able to bring other electronics? Besides phones?
Like a tablet or something?
For the bus ride. And then what happens is when we go to get off the bus, we have like a big lockbox where you'll have to have all of your devices labeled with your name, and then we'll take them, we'll lock them up, and then right when we get back on the bus on the way home, you'll get those devices back.
Anna?
I have a question.
of the district's largest buses, so probably 40, 44 kids and adults.
It's about two to a seat, yep. It's a long bus ride and we really try to not make it 3 to a seat because that just gets too crowded on our long bus ride.
So does the whole entire school, like the whole entire 5th grade, do one activity, or are we gonna have different things?
Great
Let's talk
question.
about classes.
Yes.
So once, before we go, we're gonna be putting together what's called your camp folder. And it's like your school supplies, like books. And there'll be some pages about archery and there'll be some pages about different classes. We'll divide the group up into 4 classes. So while you're having archery, somebody else might be having survival, and somebody else is gonna be having nature studies. So we divide you up into 4 groups, but you get to do all of the same classes. Go ahead.
What if, can we bring a watch?
Yeah.
What if I accidentally shoot somebody with an arrow?
You
Not
won't.
gonna happen.
Okay. We've been doing this for 42 years. Nobody has been accidentally shot. So safety is our #1 thing. But yeah.
You go home.
Tristan? It is June 5th through the
5th through
9th.
9th.
5th through the 9th, Monday through Friday. Levi on Monday, come back on Friday. Can I ask your question a little louder?
I have a water backpack. Am I allowed to bring it?
A what?
Like a camelback,
Like a water backpack.
like a waterproof one?
Like,
It's a backpack full of water.
Yeah,
like a
camelback.
hydration
Yeah,
pack?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have one too. Just wash it out, because they get yucky inside. Ask me how I know. Okay.
So even though my brother is in the last year of middle school, could he volunteer?
Usually we look for high school kids, but yeah, we haven't made all those decisions yet.
And I also have another older brother who is at Idaho, but he comes down here every now and then. Could he volunteer?
Yeah, we have to meet all our volunteers. Yeah,
My
because we want people to make sure they're a good fit for our program.
my oldest brother is out of school, and my older brother is in Chief Joe.
Do you want to talk to us later about that with names and stuff? Thanks. Violet.
Do you know which classes are going on buses together?
No.
Honey, it's October 4th. Yeah,
We will
hey,
know
I
in
gotta
June.
get through vision screening and bus drills and then we'll go from there. Yeah, we will, but like I said, we'll be having more meetings and, you know, we may get new students too, so we can't just decide everything right now. Okay, what do you think? 5 more minutes?
5 minutes, yeah.
Okay.
Trina,
I'm scared of bunk beds.
then maybe you'll sleep on the bottom.
I'm scared of bottom too.
We'll figure that out.
Okay, who hasn't asked a question? Go ahead. Can you say that a little louder?
Will there be football?
Oh, like for free time?
So every day, usually
I haven't
before,
been in the camp trailer for a while.
possibly. We have a short little recess, usually right before lunch, where it gives the different people. So each day, cabins are going to also be in charge of setting up for lunch and then cleaning up, and you'll get to do the dishes and the big fancy
One time.
dishwasher. One time, get to. So. During that process, we'll have a short little recess, and normally have games. Sometimes we'll have balls that you can play with.
Yeah. Sometimes between dinner and campfire, if your cabin leaders, if you have kept your cabin neat, you might have some free time. There's I don't know if you've seen the picture go by. There's a giant meadow in front of the mess hall that is good for that.
David.
Oh. We're terrible.
Fifth grade. Wow.
The four things actually.
One thing.
Will there be a changing room?
Yes.
Okay, Winry?
Has he ever gone missing?
No. Remember how many adults there are per kids, right? For every 3 of you to 4 of you, there is an adult.
And you don't want to go missing.
No, you don't.
I do. That kid
Yes, adult.
How long's the ride?
Sorry, say that again.
How long's the ride?
4 hours.
Yeah, about 3.5 to 4. It's a long ride. Okay, well, one more question. Yeah.
Are you gonna be able to
That is such a good question, and someone asks every year, can you make s'mores? So this is how we feel about safety. You know, 88 fifth graders with flaming sticks of sugar. Not
Don't make us
probably our
excited.
We don't want you to go home with a s'more tattoo on your cheek. So we probably won't do that. But we do have treats every night at campfire.
So we still have treats.
All right.
All right, yeah.
All right, so this is what's gonna happen next. We, hopefully, our video recording